It's about. I'm really trying to deal with how do you effectively confront or deal with, in some cases, experts, but bureaucrats or whatever. If someone's holding a gun to your head, either literally or metaphorically, then you may have to go along with it, unless you decide to be a martyr. But there are other kinds of situations where, well, what if you want to confront City Hall? That's a different kind of authority, but it's still perhaps authority. And so in my book, I talk about ways to deal effectively, to stand up.
And what are some of those ways?
Well, the first thing, let's say let's say you're going to visit your doctor, or you're going to visit a bureaucrat at City Hall. And basically, in a lot of ways, the techniques are the same. First of all, you prepare. You think about what questions you want to ask and what it is you want to talk to the authority or the expert about. So if you're going to a doctor, you find out some information about your situation. Then you make a list of questions. That's very important, because a lot of times people, when they confront authority, you know, they forget what they were going to ask them, they get tongue-tied, they get flustered.
Right.
So you make a written list of questions. And that will help you when you're actually talking to the expert or authority, because then they'll see you're serious, you prepared, you've thought about what's going on. You think about what you're wearing. Remember, we talked about the power of a uniform and the power of appearance. Wear something that's appropriate for the situation. Because if you show up in a t-shirt and jeans, most people aren't going to be real impressed. Let's be realistic. So if you're going to see a professional, whether it's a professional politician or a physician, try to look professional.
Try to look like an authority figure yourself.
Well, I wouldn't want to exactly put it that way, but I believe, be on a par with them.
Right.
But wear also something that makes you comfortable. If you feel uncomfortable wearing a suit and tie or whatever it might be, but still, if you're going to, whether you're going to ask questions of an authority or confront them, if you look scruffy, you're in a power down position. Then prepare yourself mentally, psych yourself up. Now, for some people that's not hard, but a lot of people have trouble with the idea that they even have a right to question authority. But hey, the authority is there for you, whether it's a physician or a politician or a bureaucrat. They're supposed to be working for you, not you for them.
Yes.
And so you have to go think of that, go in with that attitude. Understand that you have a right to question, because a politician, you're paying their bill. You have a right to ask them questions. And you have to psych yourself up and go in with a confident attitude. And some people have a lot of trouble with that. A lot of people have been taught to be non-confrontational. But if you go on with a hangdog attitude and very deferent, you're not going to get as far as if you go in and, I don't mean being brash or obnoxious, but just simply act self-confident, whether you feel like it or not. Because it'll actually have an effect on your behavior as well as on theirs. If they see that you seem to be assertive and self-confident in a polite way, they're going to take you a lot more seriously than if you come in and say, can you help me? And it makes a difference. So you psych yourself up. If you have a complaint, if you're going to City Hall to complain, have documentation. Nothing is as impressive as something written down. Because then there's a piece of paper that they have to put in their files. They have to take seriously. So you document whatever the complaint or whatever it is, if that's what you're going to talk to the expert about. Witnesses, times, dates, photographs. And then when you arrive at the expert or authorities, you set an agenda. You say, these are the questions that I want answered, and how much time do we have? And you see, then you've taken control of the situation. You're not coming as a supplicant.
Right.
You're coming as an equal.
You've treated them as an employee, which they are. They should be there to serve you.
Right.
Is that a good tactic?
Well, you got to be careful about that.
Depends on the situation.
Because if you get too brash or too snotty, that will just backfire. They won't like that. I prefer to thinking of coming to the situation as 2 equals exchanging information. I think maybe that's the best attitude. I mentioned the employee part just to say, look, you have a right to ask questions because in some sense they're your employee. But no, you wouldn't want to go in with that attitude, well, you're my employee, answer my questions, because they'll just get annoyed, and you do not want them to be annoyed. So you have to come in, be pleasant, not confrontational, not you know, in your face. I mean, we've all been real mad, you know, and said, how dare you, you know. But the truth is that that's not the tactic that's most likely to get what you want. So you have to come in and be, you know, civilized and polite, and then calmly discuss what it is you want. And be aware of the kinds of factors that might influence you, and don't be intimidated by how they act or what they say. When you're talking to an authority, be aware of your own posture and language. If you slump over, or again, avoid the posture of a supplicant. And you have to be assertive and self-confident without being obnoxious. And speak in a confident voice. I mean, these are all very subtle things, but people don't always do this. They stutter, they come in, they're hesitant, they're deferent, and that you just won't be taken as seriously if you do that.
Also, if you're a person that really relishes their control that they have over you, they're going to be looking for those signs.
Oh, yes.
And they're going to, if they're not getting them from you, then they're going to want to go on to the next person as fast as they can and do whatever they need to do to get rid of you.
That's right.
And that may be to your advantage.
That's right. That's right. And when you are talking with the person, there are many times when it's appropriate to take notes, because then you put them on notice that you are paying very careful attention to what they're saying. Now, you can't do that always. If the person is defensive, then you can't. So you have to. There are no general rules that apply for every situation.
Right.
But taking notes is a way to point out that you're a serious person who wants to be taken seriously, and you are paying very close attention.
Well, these are some very good guidelines. So thank you very much for coming out. This is a lot of wonderful information. I hope that it keeps a lot of people out there from coming to the wrong end of some kind of troublesome authority that they may be encountering. And for anyone else out there that would like any more information about the Libertarian Party, you can join us online at www.lp.org, and you can also give us a call, toll-free, 1-800-ELECT-US, and we'll send you out some information by mail. I'd like to thank you very much for coming out. Again, it's been absolutely wonderful and delightful. And I'd like to thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on The Libertarian Alternative.